What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm going to be going over my top carried knives from last week. I hope everyone had a great weekend, having a fantastic Monday, or will have a fantastic Monday depending on what time you're watching this video. So Monday I went ahead with a micarta Monday carry, and I picked up my Ace Grand. This one here is from Giant Mouse Knives, done in 4E. It was a River Edge Cutlery exclusive variant. They don't have any left, but in all honesty, the ergos, the shape, the size, the weight of this knife is so good. I recommend picking up any variant, even the base variant, which I think is M390 in micarta, and I don't know if the economy has affected the price any, but it could be that it's slightly more than the $199 that it used to be. But even so, it's a fantastic knife, really nice craftsmanship, Italian designed by a great company that produces really good quality products. And I really do like this one a lot. It feels really nice in hand. The smooth burlap micarta feels really good, and I love the design, the way that it looks, and the fact that it is smooth. The ergos lock it in hand, so I don't worry about movement in hand too much, but it feels really nice. The jimping's in a really good spot there, so the thumb fits on it nicely. Really good thumb hole. And the access was probably the only thing that I complained about with the thumb access for a larger hand, and I just knocked it down ever so slightly so I could fit my hand in there and get nice access. But this knife is really good. I really am kicking myself for being late to the game picking that one up from Monday. Also on Monday, because I have it for a limited time and these aren't my knives, so I do like to dual carry. Thanks again to Javier for loaning this to me. He goes under refined underscore EDC over on Instagram. He does fantastic shots. If you like following folks on Instagram to see pocket dumps and see what gear they're carrying each day, he has great gear, great pictures. Check him out, and if you like what he has, give him a follow. But what he loaned me and that I am carrying is the Wee Mini Malice. This is a very interesting knife. I think I'm about ready to go ahead and conduct my review so I can get this wonderful little tool back to him. I'm sure he is anxious to get it back since he just got it in hand recently. And this is really interesting. 20 CV, Fram Forge design, button lock. It is roughly about the size of the ProTech Malibu, so I'll go more over that in the actual review, but ergos are really nice. Button lock seems to work really well. It is a smaller knife than I thought it was going to be, but if you're into the smaller knives, this could be right up your alley. The reverse flick works really nice. I can't quite thumb flick it on a consistent basis, and I think that's my fault. Again, the bigger hands do make it a little bit of a challenge. Flipper works good. The action's nice and smooth. So fantastic little knife. I am going to set it over here because I did carry it another day this week as the companion carry, but I'm not going to go back over it again. Just a great little knife. They released on Wednesday of the week that I carry these in, so they should be available for everyone. I think they have a multitude of colors. And again, it's a great smaller knife. The only thing I'll warn on, and again, I'll be on the lookout for the full review because I'll dive into it a little bit more, is I wish this finger choil was a little bit bigger. For my big hands, I actually rest on the blade just a little bit if I wanted to choke up. It does just ever so slightly kiss my finger, so that's the only little thing that I'll divulge here. But stay tuned for the full review that'll be coming up. It's going to be a good review. It's a solid little pickup, and I'll have some interesting comparison knives to go over with that as well. On Tuesday, I did go into the office. I did slim down my carry for that day. I picked up my Wee ROXI 3. This continues to be one of my favorite small knives from Wee. They did a really good job with the design of this. I love the look. I like the thicker geometry, and the S35 on here performs really well. This actually feels like it's intended to be used hard, even though it is a smaller knife. That finger choil being a full choil, and you're able to get your hand completely in there. It provides a full grip with a little bit of extra knife utilized for moving your hand around if you want to slide back. You can even slide back and still almost get a full 4-finger grip, but you do slide here a little bit. I do feel like using that choil is the way that this was designed to be used, and then you just have a little bit of room to move around depending on what type of work you're doing with the knife. And it has plenty of cutting edge. You know, if you do a lot of utility cuts, if you do a lot of draw cuts, if you are powering through a lot of push cuts, this is going to be a really good knife. And the other thing I like about this, it reminds me a little bit of how Medfords are designed. They don't have the cutout, but instead they have the chamfer down to get in there. So it's really nice if you like to do like Greg does with his lifting, I guess I will call it, of the lock bar as opposed to pushing and letting it drop. It's really good for that. The fuller allows you to reverse flick, and then the thumb hole allows you to what I refer to as spidey flick. So I constitute the difference is when you're coming down and the knife is kind of laying in the hand a little bit like that, and then the reverse flick, I feel like the knife is almost perpendicular for that reverse flick. That's where I constitute the difference. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Thumb flick works nice, and it even has the flipper tab for the front flip and the roll, and you can even get the reach around because the pocket clip and everything is in such a good spot that you can get to it. Only thing is the jimping's not wrapped around on there, so you do need to kind of get down onto the fingertip, and as you see there, if you're not quick enough, you can actually just kind of bump the knuckle and it's not going to work too good. But all in all, this is such a cool little knife. I really do like this one. I didn't really know that I could like a small knife so much, but I think because that full choil is there and it gives you a full in-hand grip, it's deceptively friendly for large hands, for all hands. I think even medium and small, you're going to really like that one a lot if you don't already have it. If you have it, then you know what I'm talking about. Wednesday, I picked up a knife I hadn't carried in a little while that I really am enjoying. It's a little bit more of a weightier, fuller sized carry, but I do like variety in my inventory. I like a little bit of everything because I enjoy and appreciate all attributes of my carry. So I like to mix it up. I enjoy what benefits one has versus the other. So I picked up the Kungwu X Tao. This one here has their version. I think they call it the X lock, but it is a crossbar lock. I did recently learn that the actual extra Omega springs that come with this knife actually are heavier weight. So what I'm probably going to do is in the next couple of days, I am going to probably throw those on and see how I feel, because I do feel like these are a little bit light. I would like them to be just a little bit stronger, but the action is super smooth and it feels really good in hand, even if you have your finger in the guard, or if you're choking up and you put your middle finger in the guard. If you're choking up like you need control for a little bit of a power job or power for a job, it's going to work really well. It's actually surprisingly really thin because it has such a tall flat grind. Really a nice looking finish on the blade. I really like those thumb studs a lot. It is a thicker geometry, so this thing is ready to work, and I like crossbar locks. As long as the Omega springs aren't failing, I like a crossbar lock because it does lock up with 100% of the blade for strength, so I do appreciate that. Has the chamfering and the, as you can see, I call it the orange peel finish. That does provide texture on there. Nice pivot collar, really good looking. I actually like the wire pocket clip. They did do a lot of bends in here, which does help strengthen it up so it doesn't feel so flimsy, and it has remained buttery smooth. I mean, I don't know that it's gotten smoother, but it came out the box feeling so smooth. On Wednesday, I actually had the Mini Malice also companion carrying with the X-Tau, and I already reviewed that, so we won't go back over that, but those were the two knives in pocket on Wednesday. Thursday, I did have to go back in the office instead of going in on Wednesday. We had kind of a little team thing going on, so I wanted to bring out something that was a little bit more gentlemanly to carry, so I picked up my TW Price the Dawn. I really like this one. The milling on here, it is really minimal, even though you can see it and it's very pronounced looking because they're big grooves. When you actually look down the knife itself, they're really quite smooth, so you get like the proper amount of grip without it feeling uncomfortable or sharp or hot in hand. I like this one because it does offer a full 4-finger grip. It is very much like a Benchmade bug out sized carry. Really has a very thin slicey blade, so if you like an EDC with a thinner blade, this is definitely going to be something that interests you. It has a very well done front flipper on it, and it has these notches that have just enough sharpness to catch the meat so that it does deploy with both the finger for the reverse flick like so and the thumb flick as such right here. I might need to look at this pivot because it was backing out on me a little bit the other day, and I noticed here that it's not dropping anymore when I go in to get, yeah, I might have over tightened it just a touch. It has to be in that one sweet spot for it to work really nice. But as far as the finger roll and the reach around works really well. The jimping on here is really good too. It goes straight up here and it's very solid, but it doesn't go over the top. But this one here is so pronounced that I think it works really well. Great blade shape, and again, feels really good in hand. Has a what I would call a oversized sharpening choil. I can't really use that as a finger choil for me. Not a dedicated one anyway, and I have big enough hands that if I want to get out to the edge to control something with the fingers and the thumbs, it'll work really well. And then the way my hand naturally rests, really good for push cuts because my thumb is going to keep it from coming into that sharpening choil. Again, the only thing here, it does have a little bit of a knockdown, but having larger hands, it's a little bit of work to get that open or get into that cut to close the knife. So I have to take a look at that. I think I might have over tightened it just a touch, just a bit outside. All right, last but not least are going to be my Friday carry. Thank you and shout out to Satu Dave again for letting me check this one out. For Friday, not today. I am recording a day late. Friday I had Satu Dave's Mac 2 here from McNeese Knife, made in the USA, magnet cut in the pocket as my companion carry. Gosh, this thing is a guillotine. Whew. The action on here is awesome, and I really do like the jig cut on here. I think it looks really cool. It's a really great pattern. The edge on here is really good. It is robust yet slicey. I mean, this knife is a really good do-it-all knife. That was what was in the pocket. I am about ready to do my review on this one after carrying it so much. This is just a really solid, nice mid-tech, made in the USA knife. It is production custom because they do, if I recall correctly, they do all the work by hand for this knife. And I know that some of it is a machine, like where he had some videos on his Instagram where you could see the machine was water blasting the pattern for the blade out, and then they grind it by hand. And my main carry for Friday is going to be my recently acquired Grail, the Chris Reeve knife Umanzan. Really excited to pick this one up. I was chasing the drop point, but I think that the Tonto is good looking enough to constitute picking this one up. This one definitely feels more hard use than the Nkosi. It has a little bit more of a beefy handle to it, so it's a little bit more hand filling. And I'll have a full review coming out, so I don't want to jump into it too much, but it's definitely worth the chase. I like it a lot. Fantastic hollow grind on this USA made knife. Awesome edge. The Tonto is done really well. You do have a definite prominent tip there, so that works well for, I don't want to put it on anything, but it works well for the draw cuts. If you need to do any type of utility cutting, anything like that, that tip works really well. And then you have a nice tip here for your puncture task. This is just a really nice knife. I really do like the Chris Reeves, and it offers such a different experience. The one thing that I have to get used to this one is I'm so used to putting my fingers on the pocket clip with the Nkosi. With this one here, you actually just want to back up off the frame, and it's still breaking in, of course, too. It's not quite as smooth as the Nkosi, but you want to back up and actually hold it a little bit behind the pocket clip, because this pocket clip actually goes straight over top of the lock bar. So that was the main carry for Friday. I will put that over here. Let me know what you've been carrying most or more regularly, or what has been in your pocket the most here regularly, and let me know what you have been enjoying carrying the most here down in the comments. I love to hear that stuff, because again, I may sometimes either get confirmation about a knife that I'm interested in or learn about a knife that I've never heard of before. A lot of you have done that, commented on a knife, and I'm like, what's that? And I have to go look. I appreciate that. It's very helpful for me because there's so many knives that I don't know about, even though there's a ton that I do. I appreciate you tuning in this week. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, leave a like. Consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and make sure your notification bell is set to all, because then you can pick and choose when you get a notification if you want to check the video out that I've posted. Also, give me a follow on Instagram if you have a page. Post daily photos and videos of what I'm carrying. That stuff's fun to me, and I love to check out other people's stuff as well. It's always cool to see the pictures and the gear. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Thanks for all the support, and until next time, peace.